So here we go, we're back on Elsa, the Volvo 740, back in the engine bay, and I've got a really important one for you guys today. So what am I talking about? This negative cable here for the battery. Now it goes and bolts to the chassis leg there. Maybe you can see that, maybe not, but it is there. And the other side goes down, takes a bit of a twist and turn and bolts in. That's where it connects to there. And you can already kind of see what's going on. You can see that there's obviously, that doesn't look like where the cable's going, but it is. And you can see there's some electrical tape and that gives you an idea of what's going on. So yeah, connects the chassis to the engine and of course the battery. And it's a really common issue on these cars. I'm going to show you guys what the issue is, and then we'll get an adapted version fitted so that we don't have this problem again. So you can see the positive cable goes off there, and by the looks of it, that's not in the best shape either. Maybe I'll just take that red tape off and see what's going on in there to make sure that's okay. There might be one off the red 740 that I can pinch, but that's not why we're here today. Normally the issue isn't so much with them, it's with the negative. You can see there where it's sort of kinked over. Now I've wrapped it in electrical tape because it was starting to fray through. But yeah, we'll take off these bits anyway and we'll have a closer look. We'll take that nut off the end. Remove those two and then just take this one off and feed it down through there. So now we can pull all this down. And see. Get this one removed if I can. So that we can check it properly. And then, well, let's do it now. Let's just do it now. We've got to check it, haven't we? Hopefully I've got the one on the 740 and it looks okay. If not, we're going to have to redo this tape. This was someone else. I did the black tape. I'd never be good enough to do it colour coded. It's just black for everything. So whoever did this did a fairly good job. I just wonder why they did it. They put a lot of it on there. I'm never going to get through it. They literally used a whole roll. I need to cut through it. The never-ending story. Oh, look at that. Oh man, that's horrendous. What has happened here? You never know what you're driving around in, do you? You really never know. This has happened for some reason. Maybe even a bit of that. And they've probably shorted out at some stage and caught fire, maybe. Started to melt or something's happened, I don't know, but that's horrendous, isn't it? And it looks like maybe it's been soldered as well. They've soldered some of it back together. So I'm going to nip down to the bottom garage where the red 740 is, and then we'll see what's on it and if it's still on it and if it's in good shape. And yeah, I should have taken it already really, I don't know why I didn't. So what have we got? I did take out a lot of the cabling, but I have missed this. I've left that for whatever reason. But you can see straight away there's no negative cable attached to it as part of this. It's a separate thing, and I've already taken that from this car. I'm going to show you that in a second. But this negative one looks good as well, doesn't it? So, that'll be why I didn't take it. Genuinely, a lot of stuff I left because I was just like, not that I would have taken that part, and I did keep it on its wheels, but you know, it's just, she's a bit crusty, and there's a lot of parts I was like, when there's no bolt head left, it would have meant, it would mean having to drill the bolt through, you know, cut the bolt head off, grind through it, drill through it, or something. Maybe we can just pull it off. So we'll do some more pulling off, and yeah, we'll get rid of it. I think it's just attached to the starter, which it won't be attached to the starter because I've removed the starter. So I think if we tug hard enough, we're going to have this cable free. So I undid a couple of the clamps just to remain at least a little bit civilized. There we go. Yeah, so it's basically going to go as it was on the other 740, positive down the side, across the front of the engine, up along the side here, probably bolts to the frame somewhere, and then it just goes onto the starter. There we go. And that's it. I'm going to take off the oil filter now, let that drain away, clean up a little bit, and then we'll take off that earth cable and have a look. So I drained the oil as well because I'm doing an oil and filter change, so that's why that's there. Ooh. Try not to get any evidence of spilling any oil on the ground on camera, because if I do, then it might be jail time. Might be the last video I ever make. So, okay, so that's the earth, and you can see the problem straight away. Like, it's... because it was bent on such a harsh angle, like a right angle over like that, and then obviously with the movement of the engine, because it's not far from that part where it suffers to where it actually bolts to the engine moves like this, and we know how much red blocks like to move around, and then just over time it's just this, isn't it? And eventually it just breaks through, doesn't it? So yeah, bit of a mess, and I think maybe before in the past it's touched or something's happened. I don't really know, but either way, I'm really glad to be getting rid of these cables today and sorting it all out. It's a bit of a mess in here. I've got cylinder heads and things everywhere. We're going to get to that, and obviously, of course, what we're doing about the block in a video soon. But the daily needs some love first. So yeah, this is what came off the other 740. So, and this essentially hooks over the chassis leg, the frame rail. As you can see, it literally just hooks over. And then this part here, you've got like a metal case in here to keep it fixed and secure and free from moving and whatever else. And then that goes straight down and then bolts on to the engine mount. So they obviously saw the issue with just running the cable loosely with the positive cable underneath, and then securing it to the cross member, and then twisting it round and up and over to the engine mount. Of course, this was happening, and chances are, if it hasn't been addressed on your Volvo 740, it probably looks the same, because this is what happened to all of them. and then it should hook. Just going to encourage it on. So there we go. I decided to put it in the top bolt for the engine mount, which I think is possibly how it was supposed to be anyway. I think that's perhaps how it was on the other car. Obviously on this car it was on the bottom bolt. Either way, it's a much nicer fit. It means that you don't put the cable in a weird way, so it fits perfectly on the top. So I think that's probably how it's supposed to be. And then yeah, we're attached on the chassis. Looks a bit of a disgusting mess, but hey ho. And then yeah, we'll put the battery negative clamp on in a moment, connect up the positive stuff first, and yeah, that's basically it. This cable actually does seem to hang a little bit low. I might try and tidy it up a little bit. It doesn't matter though, does it? It's not that bad. It's fixed on those 3 points along there. I need to put that clasp back on, and yeah, up and over onto the back of the starter. I think I probably already showed you. Happy days. So there we go. And you don't need a spare rusty old Volvo 740 facelift or 940 to be able to do this. I can't speak for America and places like that, but I know here in Europe, Scandix, especially in Germany, they do supply the negative cables, and they supply that sort of modified, updated cable. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.